Alright guys, welcome back to Who Would Win, where I take two characters and talk about what would it be like if they fought, and you guys tell me in the comments below who you think would come out on top in this matchup. And today I've got the T-800 Terminator, from of course Terminator, and Colonel Steve Austin, aka the $6 Million Man, also known as the Bionic Man. So what would it be like if the Terminator and the Bionic Man fought? Now this is actually a fight I thought of as of today. The thought just kind of popped in there, and I was like, okay, yeah, this seems like a fun one to talk about. So, for reference, the T-800 model is, of course, the Terminator we all know. That's the Schwarzenegger Terminator. Now, since we're talking about the Terminator, let's talk about him first. Now, the Terminator is, of course, a assassin robot from the future who is capable of human infiltration. Not to the level of like the TX or the T-1000 models. But the T-800s were like the early models of human infiltration. They could, look, smell, taste, and actually, form like bad breath or, just eye dilations, little things. The only way you could tell was because if you had the best way to look at them, in case dogs could detect them best, because dogs had a sense of knowing what's human and what's not. So that was the big thing right there. Now, the other thing, as a Terminator, they have enhanced strength, speed, not so much speed, but basically they're nigh indestructible. You can destroy them, but it takes a lot to put down a single T-800, especially with conventional weapons. In the future, they could take them down with pulse rifles, but in the past, it took a lot just to destroy a single T-800. Their titanium alloy bodies are more or less capable of withstanding any kind of environment. They're also capable of mimicking voices, incredibly strong, and they can download technology and learn about their surroundings very quick. So, yeah, not much else I can say about the T-800. They have basically been like the face of Skynet. They were Skynet's foot soldiers for the longest time. Now, let's talk about his opponent, Steve Austin, of course, the $6 Million Man. Now, Steve Austin, the Bionic Man, $6 Million Man, however you want to put it, was a pilot who was wounded in an accident, and they had the technology. They could rebuild him faster, stronger. And as a cyborg, Steve Austin basically can, of course, move faster. He's stronger than most humans. He can actually, like, at full strength, he could probably lift up a tank in some of the comics. His speed was incredible. He also had, thanks to the metal in his body, he was more than capable of basically withstanding a lot of damage. The dude could, take a rocket launcher in some cases, especially in the comics, and still keep going. He could also download information, and he was an excellent hand-to-hand fighter. So yeah, he is not too dissimilar from his combatant, the T-800. Now, what would it be like if the T-800 and the Bionic Man fought? What would it be like if those two decided to throw down? It would be a total bloodbath. Now, the Bionic Man, for reference, has gone up against, like, G.I. Joe in the comics and a few other characters here and there. But the T-800 is an interesting opponent in that, it's all about logic and mathematics, whereas Steve Austin isn't really a full android. He isn't a full robot like the T-800 is. He is a cyborg and still has his human brain. And as a human being, that gives you a leeway to think outside the box. It gives you, like a human edge in that you're more creative. You can think of things and think of ways to combat certain strategies outside of a normal machine like the T-800 is. But the T-800, like I said, is just this walking two-legged man tank, essentially. And they can seriously do some damage, especially with the weapons they carry. The pulse rifles, they're also a master of any kind of weapon. You give it a gun, and it's going to kill a lot of people with it. But much like the Terminator itself, it takes a lot to take down Steve Austin. Also, strength-wise, they're more or less close to, the Terminator and the Bionic Man are essentially very close in terms of strength, so these two could definitely go hand to hand. And it's not like Steve Austin hasn't fought not Terminators, excuse me, he hasn't fought androids before. He's taken on his good list of cyborgs and evil robots in the past. So the big thing here is that the Terminator is just a stronger version of the foes he's fought before. And the Terminator, however, does use that logic and its weaponry and just its sheer power. So Steve is going to have to think outside the box. Now, obviously, he can run quicker than the Terminator. He can move way faster than the Terminator. But the Terminator could definitely, like, if it fought him long enough, the Terminator could probably, like, detect and pick up his motions. Like, he could figure it out real quick. Like, he could figure out, okay, he's running this way, so I'm going to use countermeasures here, here, and here, and that'll take him out from there. So, like I said, Steve's going to have to think outside the box if he's going to take on the Terminator in a head-on fight. So, yeah. Like, I'd imagine, like, one punch, like, he would be his first punch, he'd be like, oh, damn, even I felt that. So that's going to be that is basically going to be a real, this is going to be a real tough match for Steve. But the same way with the Terminator, because it's fought, the Terminator isn't used, unless you're counting Arnold's version. It hasn't really fought anything that is similar to it. So in a weird way, the Terminator's taking on, like, a T-800 of its own way, just more human. So I guess we'd say T-500, like something in the earlier T-100 models. So this is a close one, guys. This is a really tough one for me to decide. So you guys tell me in the comments below, who do you think would come out on top in this matchup? If you think the Terminator win, put hashtag Terminator wins and list off the reasons why you think the Terminator would come out on top. Or if you think Steve Austin win, put hashtag Bionic Man wins and list off the reasons why you think the Bionic Man would come out on top in this matchup. Really curious to see what you guys have to say, because this was one, like I said, just came into my head, and the more I thought about it, I was like, damn, this would be a pretty boss fight. This would probably be a very close matchup between the two. So yeah, just comment below, let me know what you guys think, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.